I was holding 8,000 shares, waiting for it to spike. $54,000 profit in just 4 minutes. Hey everyone, YC here. The PDT rule, which restricted retail traders from day trading for over 20 years, has finally been removed, and I made around 230k from the opportunity in 1 week. In this video, I'll cover that week's opportunities, how I traded them, what the PDT rule is, and how the market changed after its removal. PDT stands for the Pattern Day Trader Rule. Put simply, if your margin account had less than 25k US dollars, you could only make 3 day trades within 5 business days. Going over the limit could stop you from opening new trades or even freeze your account for 90 days. Anyone who has tried trading frequently with a small account has probably experienced the restriction caused by the PDT rule. Different brokers may implement the new rule at different times, and some may have a transition period. Brokers that were already prepared for the new rule had basically updated their system by June 8th. The change brought more people into day trading. Trading volume increased, and the small cap market immediately became much hotter. That is why so many major opportunities appeared during that week. Low flow stocks can make much larger moves when volume increases. On June 8th, several small cap stocks that already had momentum went through short squeezes in the afternoon. For example, INHD gained 6,000%, moving from $1 to over $60. NPT gained 800%, and SUNE 700%. I finished trading fairly early that day, so I missed those later short squeezes, but I prepared myself for the following day, because once a stock makes a 6,000% move, it is almost certain to bring more attention and momentum into the market. The next day played out as expected. Many stocks took off, and I traded several ones. The screenshot on the right shows my profit from the trading platform that day. On the left is Kinfo, a website that verifies trading performance. As you can see, I pay commission, stock locate fees, and other trading costs every day. For example, on June 9th, my profit was around 93k US dollars, and I probably paid around 3 to 4k in commissions and locate fees. Across those 5 days, I made about 230k US dollars. On June 9th, I made more than 80k going long PAVS. We'll take a look at the chart in a moment, along with a live trading clip. In that stock, I went from 30k in profit to 90k in 4 minutes. Let's look at the PAVS chart from that day. By the time I recorded this video, the stock had already completed a reverse split, so the prices shown on the chart were about 100 times higher. The stock moved from around $1 to about $26. Because of the reverse split, the chart now shows it moving from $100 to above $2,600. The stock gained nearly 2,700% that day, and the trading volume was extremely high. At one point, close to 2 million shares were trading every minute. Earlier trades made me around 10 to 20k. Including other pre-market stocks, I was up roughly 30k. The better opportunity came when the stock started accelerating. You can see that its earlier move took much more time, but once the short squeeze began here, the stock accelerated and started moving much faster. I had located shares to short that day, so after the upward move ended, I also shorted the stock lower down on the chart. I shorted it from around $18 down to around $10 and made quite a few trades in that area. Later, as the stock continued falling and the volume started drying up, I stopped trading it. On the left, you can see me trading PAVS, and this number shows my total profit for the day. At that point, the stock had just entered a volatility halt. This is when it resumed trading. It was already up 1,500%, and I was looking for an opportunity. I bought 2,000 shares at around $15.70. Then I added another 2,000 shares here, followed by another 2,000 shares. At that point, my profit was already over 10k. I added another 2,000 shares, so I was holding 8,000 shares and waiting for the stock to push higher. $19.60 had previously been displayed as the halt price, but it had now moved higher. The new halt price was around $20.19. Before the stock entered another halt, I sold everything. I sold the remaining shares at around 19.98 and 19.7. That trade made around 27k US dollars. After I closed the trade, the stock did not actually enter a halt. It missed the halt price by a little. As you can see, 20.19 was the actual halt price. At that point, I bought 2,000 shares near $20. And then added another 2,000 shares. The projected halt price moved up to around $22. So I held 4,000 shares from around $20 to around $22. I sold before it entered the halt. That trade made around 9k. The next trade was similar to the previous one. The stock had just come out of the halt and resumed trading. I bought 2,000 shares at around $22, then added again. I was now holding 5,000 shares. As you can see, the stock was already up more than 2,600%. It started approaching the halt price, so I sold all my remaining shares at around $26. I was holding 5,000 shares, and that trade made around 17k. Altogether, in about 4 minutes, I made 54k. Unfortunately, that was already the high of the day. That's all for this live trading section. Now, let's return to the rule. The rule was quite strange. It was supposed to protect small retail traders, but instead limited people with smaller accounts from freely buying and selling. 25k is a significant amount, and the requirement stopped many small account traders from even trying day trading. Previously, the rule only applied to US-based brokers. Traders without 25k could use an offshore broker instead. These brokers were often registered in places like New Zealand or the Bahamas. They had no PDT rule and often offered higher leverage. I also used this type of broker when I first started and had little money. Some people may worry because these companies are smaller. Compared with US brokers, they may offer fewer protection, including insurance coverage. However, in my experience, I never had trouble withdrawing money, and their trading functions work well. Now that the PDT rule has been removed, everyone has more choices when selecting a broker.